I boost leak tested my F10 N55. I had some problems at first. I put together this little eBay connection you see here. Came with the actual gauge and then the connection for the air or whatever, the stem. This is some eBay hose, and I put it together with some clamps. This is a 2.5 and the inlet is 2 1/4. So I got a 90-degree elbow that went from 2.5 to 2 1/4. Some other tools you're going to need. You're going to need obviously an air compressor. So this is a 3-gallon tank that supposedly can put down 100 psi. I've not found that to be true. It does come with some gauges on top, so I would recommend if you can get a 5-gallon, and a 10-gallon would be better. It doesn't last very long and you have to quickly search for the leaks. If you have a bad leak, you'll empty very quickly. If it's not leaking, you'll have plenty of time. But the purpose of this is you have a leak, and so this is probably going to dump on you very quickly. And then just some, stock, some basic, connection that goes to that. Don't forget to take off your oil cap. So that's another thing. Now, you don't have to plug up your PCV that goes to your intake snorkel. You could just leave that as is. Obviously, you'd have to take off this that goes to the intake. Again, make sure to take off the cap. You have to take off this breather right here from the charge pipe, and that goes back to the intake. And it also tees up with the fuel ventilation. So you got to plug that up, and then I just used these vacuum cap assortments, Pep Boys. What I did is I took the biggest one. So you take this one. It's not quite big enough. And then, so what I did is you take the second size below, and which this is the second size, and then you just jam that in there to widen it. And if you see, there's 2 of them in there. So let me get this to focus. You see, there's 2. Just press it down really hard. That seemed to work. And then the reason why I say this thing doesn't really get to 100 psi, because I can only get this gauge to go to about 15, which is there. I'm able to push 20 psi, so it should be here. So we can get this to focus. There we go. So I can only get it to about there, but 20 is here. This is eBay, so this gauge could be wrong. So let's see what happens. Oh. First of all, you gotta come over here. And you got to give a little bit of pressure. I also recommend putting some plumbing tape on your connections. Make sure they're really tight. Mine was leaking, so make sure you double wrench that. And I have plumber's tape inside there. And then the same goes for this connection. Just make sure that's on really tight. It leaks and it makes it really hard to detect. As you can see, I have some pressure, but it's not really leaking. So let's see what happens. It takes a minute to fill up because I suspect it's the air compressor. It's really not that great. And you can see it's going up. It's a little bit of a balancing trick right here. It doesn't leak like that. It's also leaking on this connection I have. I put my hand underneath and I could feel the air coming out. I have it as tight as I can. It might have something to do with these clamps. They're not that great. I can't even get it to go to 15 right now. Slowly. It's not even moving. That's it. That's max for me. So if I take that off, you can hear it's leaking. I'm grabbing underneath this elbow. It's leaking from the elbow to the inlet. But you can see here, it's slowly depressurizing, and that's actually what you want. So I think I've solved all my leak problems. I have another video showing where you can get the lamest leak from a bracket. It's really dumb, so check that video out. And I think we're good. So the tuner and I, we're gonna push for 22 PSI. Let's see if I spring a new leak. And yeah, that's how I boost leak tested my F10 N55.